UEFA continue to push to greenlight Champions League expansion plans from 2024 onwards. What do they want? They want to increase the number of group games from 6 to 10 with more teams involved. And of course, that could see extra qualification places for Premier League clubs. The bigger question, Simon, is, well, that's the big guys. What about the little ones? Should EFL clubs be compensated if a domestic trophy like the Carabao Cup falls victim to the change?
Yeah. But they've
Would
got
only be right, wouldn't it?
Well, they've got no leverage. What they should get and what they will get are two different things. The notion that, I heard that Alexander Severin was talking about the fact that League Cup should be, it's not his gift to talk about what the domestic league should do. I know that certain leagues have already removed the third cup from their equation, but I don't really care what they do in their league. It's a piddly pop league anyway in France, Ligue 1, or whatever it is. But the notion that they want to expand this because they want to head off a European Super League, I don't think is right. I don't think there's a real appetite for European Super League. There is amongst certain people. There is amongst Allegri at Juventus. But the Germans, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, has come out very robustly and spoken about the need to maintain the domestic game in a European Super League. It's not for them. This is about expanding the revenues that are available to UEFA. They've got to make up some gaps now because of the COVID-19 crisis for them, but also because the TV revenues are so expansive. If you look at what you take, if you win the Premier League, Jim, if you're Liverpool last year, win the Premier League, you get 150 million quid. You play 38 games. Win the Champions League, you get 110 million quid and play 13 games currently.
Yeah.
Right? So you look at the scale of the opportunity that's in UEFA. Also, the FIFA have wanted to come along with their World Club Championships. So there's a lot of political wrangling going on about kicking FIFA back into the long grass, saying you're not for domestic football. Thank you very much. You have no right to be in this area because tournaments and competitions are very, very lucrative. So FIFA have tried to get their snouts in the trough. UEFA have pushed back on that. They're also trying to expand it because it will give more broadcast revenue and make it more expansive. And then you get to the domestic game and say, right, how does this look for the Carabao Cup?
Yeah.
It won't just be the Carabao Cup, it'll be the FA Cup next, right? Because there's already a perception amongst the top 6 clubs with American influence in 4 of them that relegations and things like that are not for them. And they don't quite like that idea, and that ultimately the way that the league should be shaped up should be, and Europe's trying to do this as well, which is there's a pretty much nailed on position for the big clubs that they keep on being in the Champions League every single year. So they're trying to close and shut the door behind it. Look, we're talking about it in 3 years' time, so it's not today this is coming in. No. It's been wrangled for some time. I suspect that they will get something resembling a trade-off of either more group stages, but I don't think the central theme that we're trying to advance is that it will obviate the need for a European Super League. But the blowback is the EFL. What leverage they've got? We've opened the door by some discussions that have now gone away. Like all discussions go away. The way the media takes its eye off something, nobody's talking about players hugging anymore. They're still hugging. Right, so everyone's forgotten all about that, so they carry on hugging, right? And everyone's forgotten about certain aspects of finances around football and also Project Big Picture. And the door was opened by Rick Parry, who's done the square root of bugger all with it, which is how do we get more distribution? And the Carabao Cup brings 90 million quid to the EFL. The fact it's going to be marginalised by this is a scandal.
And it would be the
it's a scandal, guy. And it will be the FA Cup that follows next.
You think it would go that far?
Yeah, I do, because they don't, whilst there's value in it, there's more value in playing in Europe than there is in playing in the FA Cup. And you look at the ownership of some of the top clubs. You look at Kroenke, whose ownership of Arsenal is poor, but notwithstanding it, he still has a certain mindset. You look at Glazer. You look at the influence at Chelsea,
Liverpool,
which is Bruce Buck. You look at the ownership of
John W. Henry.
And the mindset of the Americans is a certain way. So they will not be interested in the dynamics, despite the protestations of Alan Pace at Burnley about how Americans view this marketplace. The Americans that have meaning in the football world want to solidify their opportunity at the expense of everybody else.